You got a little overzealous. You figured it's the holiday season. Of course you're going to put cranberries in everything. So why not indulge in that buy one get one bag of frozen cranberries at the grocery store? It'll be cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving, but who knows what it'll be the next week or the week after that. Maybe a delicious hand pie or a sweet relish. The possibilities were endless and intoxicating. But what becomes of that second bag? It's not a cheesecake, not a sauce, not even a cocktail. That spare bag of cranberries ends up as a monument to your hubris, an obelisk forever immortalizing your mistakes. I'm Brian Gutierrez, and this week on the feed, we're exploring the shame, humiliation, and regret of that unused, always mocking, always there bag of cranberries in the freezer. To get to the bottom of the frozen over cranberries you've hid ineffectually behind an ice pack, we turn to correspondent Edgar Chocha, who will do all the legwork I refuse to do at this stage of my career. Pleasure to have you here, Edgar. Pleasure to be here, Brian. Now, the frozen cranberry. It's a wintry fruit we love for its versatility, but sometimes its allure gets the better of us, is that right? Indeed it does, Brian. The fruit that brings a saccharine tartness to Thanksgiving and adorns our homes at Christmas has a tendency to stick around for months after its seasonal relevance, all the while mocking us with its mere presence. Now, why is that? Does it become a symbol of our financial carelessness that's easier to ignore than to confront? Partially, yes, but deeper than that, the bag of cranberries that will be encased within an impenetrable barrier of frost by February eventually becomes an inedible testament to our lack of foresight. As the months march on, that extra bag that you could never will yourself to use, even in something as idiot-proof as a mulled wine, will just become more proof of how often your unlimited potential is stymied by your unfulfilled ambition. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, if you can't even be bothered to turn those cranberries into a muffin or use them in a rice pilaf, then you deserve those grim reminders of your self-destructive apathy. Exactly. Fascinating. Let me ask you, do we know exactly why the lazy and unimaginative are so easily suckered into getting that extra bag of cranberries? I mean, they do it every year for Christ's sake. They haven't even thrown out last year's bag. Well, if you would have waited like a second, I would have told you. Okay, sorry, geez. Fine, whatever. Look, I have no idea. But I was curious about that too, so I went looking for my answer. My journey took me to Devin Zupanik of Red Lake Cranberry Farms in Pittsville, Wisconsin. Can you tell we're in peak season? Oh, for sure. There's cranberries as far as the eye can see. Just this gorgeous sea of crimson. You know, if I didn't know any better, I'd think the seas had run red with the blood of your enemies, the deaths of both the guilty and innocent rusting the very land you'll protect from any and all. Oh, no, they're just a whole lot of cranberries to me. Right. Well, as a cranberry farmer, how do you feel about the fact that 78% of all second bags of cranberries acquired in a buy one get one sale end up sitting in some coward's freezer for upwards of 4 years? Oh, geez, well, if people think the little bag in the freezer is bad, just imagine how bad I feel when the season's over and I got a bunch of these things still floating in the bog. All they got is an appetizer version of my pain. Let's just say I have nights staring out at the bog and I wonder how long it'll take for them to find my body in all that unsold red. Good work, Edgar. So I guess you can say that Devin's bog is kind of like his big freezer. You can say that, but you shouldn't, and yet you did. You're just all piss and vinegar today, aren't you, Edgar? Well, combine me with some cranberries and I'd make a nice vinaigrette. I guess you would. Thanks for the report, Edgar. My pleasure. It's comforting to know that even a guy who grows cranberries can be driven to madness by their enduring presence, like an edible version of the dead body beneath the floorboards in A Telltale Heart. We all love the sourness they bring to desserts and savory meals alike, but buying that extra bag during a holiday grocery store sale can sour your life if you don't use it right away, which you won't and never will. It's just going to sit there collecting frost, locked in a perpetual winter. The only light of day it sees is when you reach in to grab the ice cream. Every time you reach, the bag will wonder, is it my time? Will I finally be freed from this ice prison? But it's a fool's hope, and it knows it, just as you do, that the next time you pull it out of the freezer will be to throw it in the trash. And it's a shame. That bag could have been so much more, but it's too late, because now it's a monument honoring every bad choice you've ever made. Join us next week on the feed when I regurgitate a burger into my son's mouth. Are birds onto something, or are they just gross? Don't forget to support the show and all the other shows on the Inaudible Podcast Network over at patreon.com/inaudiblepod. Then follow us on Twitter at inaudiblecast. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe right here in whatever app you're using to listen to us right now. Just reach that finger over to the button ever so gently. Yes, there you go. Almost there. And done. There you go. Good job. You did it. Was that so hard? God, it's like pulling teeth with you people sometimes. Jeez. Anyway, see you next week.